I cheated on my husband, and I do not regret it at all. I got married at 20 to an amazing man. At the time, I thought he was perfect. No red flags whatsoever. A month after our wedding, he went on his first military deployment. While he was away, we talked about starting a family as soon as he returned. So when he came back, all got pregnant quickly. But when he returned, he was a completely different person. My first sign of this change came when I shared the news of my pregnancy. I expected joy, but instead, he pretended to hug me and then slam me down. He even called my dad to tell him what he had done. I endured this for 2 more years. My breaking point came when he choked me until I lost consciousness while I was breastfeeding our daughter. All because I said good morning while he was playing a game. When I came to, I called the police and my parents to pick me up. I stayed away for 3 years, but returned after my dad passed away, thinking he had changed. I was wrong. He quickly reverted to his old ways, and I attempted to leave multiple times without success. He was a narcissist, and I had undiagnosed BPD. I realized I needed someone new to help me break free, so I started dating my high school sweetheart. We fell in love again, and he helped me leave my abusive ex-husband. Then, my high school sweetheart died suddenly. It felt like either karma or a cruel twist of fate. But by then, I had already left my ex, and that decision saved my life. I had faced multiple brushes with death, the last being when my ex choked me in front of our 2 children, threatening them with foster care if he killed me. So yes, cheating is wrong in general, but I did it, and I don't regret it. It's the reason I'm alive. My ex did catch me cheating, and he cried. I felt no remorse. I wanted to laugh. But I held it in, because I feared for my life. My wife's inability to handle her periods is driving me nuts. As a guy, I've never experienced a period, so I can't fully grasp how it affects her mind and emotions. But every single month, she spends a week being difficult with me. She'll criticize everything I do, and it feels like there's no right way to do anything. It's always directed at me. For example, I'll make her hot coffee, and she'll say, I don't like coffee hot. You don't know anything about me. But she does like hot coffee. The next day, I'll make cold coffee, and she'll respond, why would I want cold coffee in the morning? It's like you don't think about what I want. Eventually, she'll hint that she'd be happier with someone who values her. Every month, it feels like she's suggesting divorce. The rest of the month, she's amazing. I love her so much, and she loves me too. She'll apologize later, saying it was just her period. But if I try to point it out during those moments, she gets really upset. I know I'll never understand what it's like to have a period, but after all these years, I wish she could recognize when it's the period talking and not her. I'm not going to leave her, but this has taken a toll on me. 3 weeks of the month, I'm affected by it. 1 week leading up to her period, I'm dreading it. During her period, I feel like I'm constantly being berated. And the week after, I'm just trying to recover. I haven't been responding to comments because I've been looking into what people have said about PTMD, hormones, and birth control. I plan to talk to her about making an appointment to see what a doctor recommends. But that's a conversation I'll have to wait until next week to have. Thank you for listening.
Tonight my boyfriend beat me to the point I thought I was going to die. I'm 28 and my boyfriend is 30. We were drinking to celebrate Christmas and I was enjoying myself as we wrapped presents. Then I saw his phone and noticed pictures of another woman. I confronted him, needing an explanation. He finally admitted he had been texting someone I always felt uneasy about and had received inappropriate photos from her. I started crying, and he demanded his keys, but I refused to give them to him since he was very drunk. I suggested he sleep in the bedroom while I took the couch, and he could leave in the morning. He woke up later, searching for the alcohol and causing chaos in the kitchen. As he tore everything apart, I tried to redirect him, worried about our pets and the toxic cleaner he was using. That's when it escalated. He grabbed me from behind in a chokehold, and I thought I might black out. In a panic, I grabbed my phone to record. He hit me in the face multiple times, and I could feel my ears ringing. He choked me again and even spat in my face, rambling about things that didn't make sense, as if he confused me with someone else. This was the first time he had ever been violent with me. I finally found a way to escape and called my dad, then his sister. She urged me to call the police, and she started driving to me. When the police arrived, I showed them the video of the attack. As he was taken away, he yelled at me to call my dad and has him get me out of his house. Our names were on the lease together. His sister picked me up from the police station and took me to the hospital. I'm okay, just a minor head injury, but I'm terrified. I don't know what comes next. I have no car because he controlled our finances and it got repossessed. I'm worried about how I'll get to work. Part of me feels bad that he'll wake up in jail, unaware of what happened. His sister thinks he might be experiencing severe issues triggered by alcohol, but that's no excuse. Merry Christmas, right? I haven't slept yet, and I'm still processing everything. I'm absolutely not going back to him. I'm taking his name off the lease and changing the locks tomorrow. I just need to find a way forward.
I started matching his effort, and he accused me of cheating. For the past 20 years, my partner and I have built a life together, raising 2 children. A few years back, I felt our relationship slipping away. We had moved past the toddler stage, and I tried everything to revive the spark. I communicated openly and patiently, but he insisted we were happy. The truth was, he was content because I was going above and beyond to nurture our bond, while he offered nothing in return. I encouraged him to take care of his mental and physical health, to eat well, and to spend time with friends. I even shared relationship tips on TikTok, knowing he loved the app. I planned dates, created special moments at home, and insisted on a no phones in bed rule. I would ask for cuddles each night and text him to check in. I even made a jar for love notes, but he never engaged. Eventually, we had a significant argument. I expressed my need for effort, and he dismissed me as too needy, claiming he didn't require any of my gestures. It was the lack of reciprocation that hurt the most, so I decided to mirror his effort. About 1.5 years ago, I began to shift my focus. Instead of pouring my heart into our relationship, I found new hobbies, strengthened friendships, and prioritized my own well-being. Our intimacy faded to nearly nothing. But I convinced myself that he was simply an exhausted dad who didn't want that connection anymore. Last week was his birthday. I let the kids sing and told him he could order whatever he liked for dinner. The old me would have gone all out with a thoughtful gift and a romantic evening, but I was matching his effort now. On Sunday, he erupted in anger, expecting a surprise that I hadn't planned. Then he accused me of cheating. He claimed I was showing all the classic signs, focusing on myself, not asking for dates, and showing a sudden change in behavior. He even checked my personal items for proof of my supposed infidelity. At first, I laughed at the absurdity of it all. The idea of seeking affection from another man while I was trying to juggle work and motherhood felt ridiculous. But as the days passed, anger simmered within me. I was furious that he only paid attention to our relationship when it was negative. I felt violated by his invasion of my privacy, and it became clear that he needed love and affection, but was too unwilling to put in the work. Now, I'm left feeling like he doesn't truly care for me or want me to be happy. I think this might be the end for us. He eventually believed me when I said I wasn't cheating, and I pointed out that I was treating him as he treated me. He backtracked quickly, but I'm not sure I want to move forward to the end of our relationship. My husband is ending our marriage because we weren't intimate as often as he wanted, and while it isn't going like he planned, I'm hurt. I originally thought about sharing this earlier, but here I am now, just venting. My husband and I have been together for 6 years, married for 3. We've had a happy relationship, or at least that's what he says. We share hobbies, get along well, and rarely fight. So what's the problem? It's not the typical story of he's great except for this. He truly is a kind and thoughtful partner. The issue lies in intimacy. He wanted it more often than I could give. We were having sex once a week, which I thought was a fair compromise. From the start, I knew our sex drives didn't match. Mine is low, and I've been this way in previous relationships. I could go months without it and be fine. He seemed okay with that at first, but over time, he grew frustrated and expressed a desire for more. After 6 years, he said he couldn't be happy with once a week. It felt like a sudden realization, and now we're separated. He moved out of my house, the one I bought before we met. My pets, whom I had before him, are still here. We had a happy little family, and now he's in a tiny apartment, struggling to fit his things and without the space for his hobbies. He sold his antique car because he couldn't park it at his new place. Now he's complaining about money, since I earn more than he does. I told him I didn't mind if he started dating while we sorted out the divorce. I know he wasn't unfaithful. He was loyal. But here he is, living alone in a cramped space, without the things he loved, all because once a week wasn't enough. It's hard not to find some irony in it. I've spent months feeling devastated, but I'm starting to pick myself up and see how absurd this all is. He's a good person, but maybe a bit misguided.
I was raped by a coworker, and it has now cost my family everything we had. 6 months ago, I shared a part of my story, promising to update it eventually. I made a throwaway account to keep this private. At a work party, I was in college, and she was a career waitress. I had just come out of a long-term relationship that shattered me. I wanted nothing to do with anyone, no intimacy, no connections. I took the job at the restaurant to keep busy and earn a little extra money. She flirted with me at work, but I turned her down kindly, explaining I wasn't ready for a relationship. I had no interest in anyone. After a couple of drinks at the party, I blacked out, something that rarely happened to me. I woke up at sunrise, half naked, with her beside me. I felt confused and unhappy. I slipped away, got dressed, and walked home, passing out for over 12 hours and missing my shift the next day. When I reported what happened, I was met with disbelief and ridicule. I walked out and never returned. 15 years later, I discovered she had a baby. We are now trying to find out if it's mine. This thought consumes me every day. I dread what we will do if he is mine. She seems focused on money, believing we are well off, but we are far from it. Life has been a series of financial struggles for us. My wife dropped her insulin today, shaking with anxiety over our uncertain future. Everything feels like a mess. As it turns out, the child is mine. We were hit with a massive child support order, and we hoped to catch up over time. Then the pandemic hit, and we both lost our jobs. Bills piled up, but we managed to keep food on the table, holding on to hope. Today I went to buy groceries, and my card was declined. I felt embarrassed, thinking it was a mistake. But no, the state seized the little money we had left. I had no way to buy food or my wife's insulin. Now, I sit in my car, unsure how to tell my wife just how dire our situation has become. You can do everything right and still end up at the bottom. I wish my family didn't have to suffer because of my past. But amidst this darkness, someone from the community is sending us a month's supply of insulin. I can't express how grateful we are for the support we've received. We put our kids to bed and are overwhelmed by the kindness we've encountered. Thank you all. A joke gone wrong. I remember jokingly asking my husband if he would be with me forever. His response caught me off guard. I'll be with you until it ends. I laughed and said, well, yeah, till death do us part. But then he went quiet and added, if that's how it ends, I don't know how it will end. My playful demeanor shifted instantly. What do you mean you don't know how it will end? Those were our vows. He stood firm, repeating, if that's how this ends, I don't know how this will end. I felt distraught. We've been married for 5.5 years, and he had never said anything like this outside of an argument. Later, we talked more, and he revealed he wants a divorce. He believes we won't be able to work through our issues together, and feels we would be happier apart. Some background. We've been friends for 24 years, together for 7, and married for 5.5. He has been married before, and his past experience with an abusive ex has made him cautious with his heart. This past year has been challenging for us. I lost my father earlier this year, and my depression has impacted our intimacy. He thinks my struggles mean I might be gay, and my shorter patience has made him feel unappreciated. I thought things were improving as I took steps to feel better. But I guess I was wrong. He wants me to continue therapy, but won't consider couples counseling when I asked. I'm left feeling lost and heartbroken, unsure of what to do next. I think my wife just held up a mirror, and I'm not sure how to move forward with what I saw. I'm not even sure why I'm sharing this. Maybe it's because strangers feel safer than those who know me. Maybe I'm scared of what I'm feeling and don't want to burden the people I love. Earlier today, my wife sent me a long, gentle message about our communication lately. She wasn't attacking me or angry. She spoke calmly and with care, but her words hit me in a way I didn't expect. She mentioned that sometimes I come across as sharp, even when I don't mean to. She feels stuck because if she offers input during parenting moments, I get frustrated. But if she stays quiet, that frustrates me too. She said the kids sometimes go quiet around me, worried about saying the wrong thing. It hurts her when I seem irritated or defensive when she's just trying to talk. Seeing those words laid out like that made something inside me drop. Like a truth I've been avoiding finally stepped forward. The truth is, I've been struggling. More than I realized, or maybe more than I wanted to admit. I've been carrying a mix of grief, stress, and an old aching fear I've never learned to voice. I grew up without a father. My mom worked tirelessly to raise me and my twin. I learned early that the safest way to survive was to handle everything alone, to not need help, to not be a burden. Now, I'm a husband, a dad, a man trying to build the family I never had. But when life gets heavy, something in me changes. I become rigid, sharp, and closed off. It's like a version of me takes over, a defensive, fiery version. Almost like the Ghost Rider, and that's not just a dramatic comparison. It's the image that came to mind when I read her message and reflected on my actions. In the movie, he's still himself, but there's this fire that overtakes him under pressure or pain. That's how I feel sometimes, like a burning defensive version of me steps in when I'm overwhelmed, and I don't fully control it. I don't want to live like that. I don't want my family to feel it. They deserve better. They deserve the softness and warmth I know I have when I'm not drowning in echoes of abandonment, pressure, and self-doubt. But I don't know how to break the pattern. I don't know how to stop reacting from fear before I even realize that's what's happening. Now that my wife has gently pointed it out, I can't unsee it. Part of me feels ashamed. Part of me feels scared. And part of me feels lost because I don't know how to start fixing something I don't fully understand. I want to communicate better. I want to be gentler. I want to be someone my kids aren't afraid to talk to, and someone my wife feels safe approaching instead of tiptoeing around. I just don't know how to move forward without feeling like I'm failing at being a husband and a father. Exactly the roles I've always been terrified I'd mess up. If anyone has been through something like this, or has advice on how to start shifting these deeper patterns, I would genuinely appreciate hearing it. I'm not looking for attacks. No one is harder on me than I already am. I'm seeking real guidance from those who've unlearned old survival modes. I love my family. I want to be better for them. I just don't want to lose myself, or them, to a fire I never learned to control. I think I got my coworker's kids taken away, and I don't know if I did the right thing or ruined someone's whole family. I don't know how to start this without sounding like a villain, but here we go. I'm 20 and work at a grocery store. Nothing fancy, just a random chain. One of my coworkers, a single mom in her late 20s with 3 kids, has always been a bit chaotic. She's nice sometimes, but she's incredibly unreliable. Always late, often crying in the break room, constantly switching shifts. I'm not judging. Life is hard, and we're all fighting our own battles. But a few weeks ago, I started noticing her oldest child, maybe 9 years old, hanging around the store a lot. He would sit on the bench outside, sometimes alone for hours. I'd see him come inside looking for her, only to find her in the back taking a smoke break, saying she couldn't find childcare. I told her it wasn't safe for him to wait outside alone, especially at night. She brushed it off, saying he knew not to talk to strangers. That made me uncomfortable, but I tried to stay out of it. Then one night, I was leaving after closing, and the kid was literally asleep on the bench. It was late, cold, and he was alone, slumped over with his hoodie pulled over his face. I went inside to tell her, but she was laughing with another coworker like nothing was wrong. I panicked a little. I wasn't trying to get involved, but the sight of that small, tired child was heartbreaking. I called the non-emergency number and simply said a kid was left unsupervised outside our store. I didn't mention her name. Long story short, CPS came to her apartment the following week. Yesterday, she came into work sobbing, saying someone made a report and they were investigating neglect. She was wailing about being a good mom, overwhelmed, and doing her best. I just stood there, unable to look her in the eye. I felt like I had ruined her entire life. But also, the kid really wasn't safe. If something bad had happened to him that night, I'd blame myself forever. I don't know if I did the right thing or if I overreacted. I feel guilty and relieved all at once. I haven't told anyone it was me, and I don't know if I ever will. I just hope the kids are okay and that she can get things back on track. My neighbors are oblivious to the strange looks and comments directed at their 12-year-old daughter, and it's making me furious. Earlier this year, I had to leave my home and move in with my mom. That's when I met her neighbors, a kind couple living right across the street. They have 3 kids, the oldest being a girl I'll call Amy. If you saw Amy, you'd never guess she was just 12. When I first visited their house for lunch, her uncle was there. And when Amy and her siblings came to greet me, I assumed she was at least 16. Her uncle gave me this strange smile and said, "She's only 12. Can you believe that?" At the time, I didn't think much of it, but things only got worse. My mom, Amy's mom, and Amy go out together a couple of times a week, walking, shopping, and so on. Sometimes my mom asks me to drop them off, or they invite me to tag along. The number of grown men and women who stare at Amy like she's an exhibit is alarming. To clarify, even though Amy doesn't look her age, she still appears obviously young. I don't feel comfortable discussing her this way, but it's true. People still gawk, and some even have the audacity to say inappropriate things. Amy is just a kid, and she can't tell the difference between a compliment and outright harassment. I've almost gotten into fights multiple times because of it. When they walk together, I like to trail behind, letting them chat. Some men feel safe to say things, but when they realize I'm with them, they back off. The worst part is that Amy's parents think, "Oh, she's just a little girl. No one would think of her that way," even though people often mistake her for her mother's sister or assume she's my girlfriend. During those months, Amy and her siblings and I grew very close. She would come to me with stories about school. And from what she shared, there are a couple of teachers who are also inappropriate. It feels like there's always someone preying on her. I talked to my mom and her parents about it. My mom is a bit more concerned than Amy's parents, who are completely oblivious. Still, I don't think she's taking it seriously enough either. I'm writing this because I'm finally going back to my house, and I'm really worried about her. She and her siblings are like my little brothers and sister, and I hope her parents can protect her.
Throwaway because my wife knows my main. I'm watching my family unravel because our daughter, who is 16, came out as transgender, and my wife refuses to accept her. I love them both, but I feel completely lost. I've been married to Sarah for 17 years, and we have one child, Lily. Back in April, Lily sat us down and shared her truth. She told us she wanted to go by Lily now. I hugged her and told her I loved her, diving into everything I could find to support her. Sarah, however, responded with a firm no, as if it were an option, and has been in denial ever since. The last 8 months have been unbearable. Sarah constantly misgenders Lily, calling it a phase or a social contagion. She leaves articles around the house that are hurtful and dismissive. Lily moved into the basement because Sarah said she couldn't bear to see her in a skirt. I helped paint it lavender and hang fairy lights, trying to make it a safe space. I bring her food like she's in hiding, and Sarah and I barely speak anymore. I sleep on the couch while she cries in the shower every night. 2 months ago, I signed the consent for Lily to start low-dose hormone therapy. When Sarah found the medication in the trash, she was so upset she got sick. Lily is starting to glow now, with real smiles and a softer voice, finally sleeping without nightmares. But Sarah sees every happy moment as proof that I'm helping mutilate our son. Last week, Lily asked if she could move to Portland after this semester to live with my sister, who is fully supportive and has a room ready. I agreed before I even thought it through because staying here is slowly destroying her, and I can't bear to watch that. I haven't told Sarah yet. I don't know how to break the news. I fear that when I do, Lily leaving will be seen as my fault, and it will sever any remaining bond between mother and daughter. But if I say no, Lily will continue to suffer under Sarah's refusal to accept her. I'm so tired. I love my wife. 17 years of shared memories, a life built together. But I also love my daughter, and she is finally becoming who she is. I can't force them both to stay and be miserable. If I let Lily go, I might lose her, and probably my marriage too. I don't know what to do. All I know is that someone I love is going to end up hurt, and I'm terrified it will be all of us.